My husband locked me out at midnight after I paid his $35,000 car loan and covered bills for 2 years. He said his girlfriend needed space and I was in the way. What he didn't know, the car was titled in my name, his girlfriend was married and using him, and the house lease ended in 48 hours. When he opened the door next morning expecting me to beg, what I showed him made him collapse. Before I share what happened that night, hit subscribe and comment where you're watching from so this reaches more people who need to hear it. Trust me, what comes next is worth staying for. My name is Sarah, I'm 33, and 3 nights ago I spent the coldest night of my life in my car while my husband entertained another woman in the house I paid for. But let me explain how I got there. I met Jacob 5 years ago at a wedding. He was charming, successful looking, drove a BMW, wore expensive suits. We married within 6 months. Within a year, I discovered the truth. The BMW was leased with payments he couldn't afford. The suits were credit card debt at 24% interest. 3 months into marriage, he confessed he owed $35,000 on his car loan, $18,000 in credit cards, and was 2 months behind on rent. His credit score was 512. I should have left then. Instead, I paid off his entire $35,000 car loan using my life savings. Money I'd saved since I was 23, working 2 jobs. He promised to pay me back within a year. That was 2 years ago. I'm still waiting. After paying his debt, we moved into a 3-bedroom house. His credit was too damaged to be on the lease, so I signed a loan. I paid the $3,000 deposit, first and last month's rent, and started covering the $2,400 monthly rent while Jacob got back on his feet. The first 6 months he tried. Sort of. He'd make maybe $2,000 monthly in commissions, which he'd spend on lunches and networking. I made $75,000 yearly as a marketing manager and covered everything else. Rent, utilities, groceries, insurance. Even his new car payments, yes, he'd somehow financed another car after I paid off his loan. Then 8 months ago, everything changed. Jacob came home later and later. His phone became password protected. He'd take calls outside. When I asked about his day, answers got vague. He stopped helping around the house. I'd work long hours, then come home to dishes piled high and Jacob on the couch, smiling at his phone. 3 months ago, I noticed charges on our joint credit card. $200 at a jewelry store. $150 at a fancy restaurant I'd never visited. $89 for flower delivery. When I asked, he had ready explanations. The jewelry was for my birthday, it wasn't. The restaurant was a client dinner. There was no client. The flowers were for his mom's birthday. Her birthday was 6 months away. But I didn't confront him because facing it meant admitting I'd wasted 5 years and $50,000 on someone who didn't love me. Then came the night that changed everything. Friday evening. I worked late, got home around 8 p.m., tired and hungry. When I pulled in, there was a white Mercedes SUV parked outside that didn't belong to any neighbor. I walked in and immediately knew something was wrong. Dimmed lights, soft music, voices from the living room. Jacob's and a woman's. I stood frozen, listening to my husband laugh in a way he hadn't laughed with me in months. Then her voice, sultry. "You're terrible. Your wife could come home any minute." "She won't. She always texts before leaving work. We've got time." I walked to the living room. Jacob was on our couch with a woman I'd never seen. Maybe 28, expensively dressed, sitting so close they occupied the same space. His hand on her leg, her hand in his hair. They looked up simultaneously. The woman looked annoyed, not embarrassed. Jacob's face showed shock, fear, guilt, then anger. "Sarah, you're home early." He didn't move his hand. "This is my house. I live here." The woman stood, smoothing her dress. "I should go. Call me later, Jacob." She walked past me without a word, leaving expensive perfume in her wake. Jacob stood, but stayed behind the couch like a barrier. "Sarah, That's not what it looked like. What was it then? That's Amanda, a client. We were discussing a deal. In our living room, with her hand in your hair. Nothing happened. With your hand on her leg. He ran his hand through his hair. Fine. Yes, I've been seeing Amanda. But can you blame me? You're never home, always working, always tired. When did you last pay attention to me instead of your stupid job? My stupid job. The job that paid his car loan, our rent, kept food in the fridge and lights on. My stupid job pays for everything, I said quietly. And you never let me forget it. Everything's about money with you. Because you OWE me. I paid $35,000 of your debt. I've paid all our bills for 2 years. I pay for stuff too. Like what? Your car payment I didn't know about? Bar tabs? Jewelry for Amanda. His face went red. You went through my purchases. They're on our credit card. We stood there staring. Then his phone rang. He looked at the screen, expression changing. He answered. Hey baby, no, she just got home. I know. Okay, yeah, I'll figure it out, me too. He hung up and looked at me with cold eyes. Sarah, I need you to leave. I laughed. Excuse me. Amanda's coming back. She's upset, needs me, and I need you gone when she arrives. This is MY house. It's our house. My name on the lease. I pay the rent. Technically, sure. But I live here too, and right now I need space. Go stay with your mom or get a hotel. Just for tonight. You want me to leave so you can comfort your mistress? Don't call her that. Just leave for tonight. I'll pay you back. When? You haven't paid me back for anything in 2 years. His jaw tightened. I'm asking nicely. Please leave. And if I don't? Then I'll leave with Amanda and you'll never see me again. Is that what you want? Part of me wanted to say yes, but another part, the part that invested 5 years and $50,000, wasn't ready. Jacob, can we talk? Just us without Amanda. There's nothing to discuss. I have feelings for Amanda. She needs me and you're in the way. He grabbed his keys. I'm picking her up. I'll be back in 20 minutes. Be gone by then. Jacob. 20 minutes, Sarah. He left. I stood frozen in my living room, surrounded by furniture I'd bought. Then my phone buzzed. Text from Jacob. I'm serious. Be gone when I get back. Something snapped. Self-respect, rage, exhaustion, whatever it was moved me to action. I went to our bedroom and started packing. Not his stuff. Mine. Clothes, laptop, documents. Working fast. But then I saw it on Jacob's nightstand. His wallet. And next to it, the title to his car. I picked up the title and started laughing through tears. The car was titled in my name. Only my name. When I'd paid off his original loan 2 years ago, the title transferred to me. When he traded for a newer car, the dealership needed someone with good credit to sign. He'd put my name on it, promising to transfer it later. Jacob didn't own his car. I did. I took the title. Then I photographed every room. Documentation that I lived there, that my belongings were there. I took my jewelry, important papers, grandmother's quilt. Then I checked our joint bank account on my phone. My last paycheck was there, $2,850. Jacob's commission check was missing. I checked transaction history. He'd opened a separate account 3 months ago, depositing his checks there instead. The joint account only had my money, and he'd been withdrawing regularly. I transferred everything to my personal account, then closed the joint account entirely. I was loading my last suitcase when Jacob's headlights appeared. I got in my car and pulled out just as he pulled in, Amanda in the passenger seat looking smug. I drove 2 blocks away and parked where I could still see my house. I sat there for an hour watching lights in the house I paid for, imagining them inside, laughing about how easily he'd gotten rid of me. My phone buzzed with texts from Jacob. Thanks for leaving. Amanda appreciates it. We need to talk about the living situation. Don't come back tonight. Give it a few days. A few days. He wanted me to stay away from my own house. I texted back, we need to talk tomorrow. About everything. Fine. Come by at 10 a.m. Amanda will be gone. I drove to a hotel, checked in and fell apart. Cried for an hour. Then stopped and started planning. I called my lawyer friend Christine at midnight. She answered groggily. Sarah, what's wrong? I told her everything. The affair, being kicked out, the car title, draining the joint account. Sarah, legally you're in a strong position. The house lease is in your name only. Yes. You've been paying all the rent. Every penny for 2 years. The car is titled in your name? Yes. I have the title. Then the house is yours, the car is yours, and he has no legal claim. But we need to move fast. I need you to freeze your credit, check all accounts, change every password and document everything. After hanging up, I spent 2 hours documenting everything. Bank transactions, texts where Jacob promised to pay me back, the car loan payoff confirmation, the lease agreement, utility bills, all in my name, all paid from my account. Then I did what Christine suggested. Froze my credit with all 3 bureaus. Changed every password. Checked my credit report and found something chilling. Jacob had tried opening a credit card in my name 3 weeks ago. Denied, but he'd tried. He'd tried to commit fraud using my identity. I barely slept. At 6 a.m., I gave up and went to the hotel gym, running for an hour. At 8 a.m., I showered and dressed in my power suit. At 9:45, I drove back to my house. Amanda's Mercedes was gone. His car, my car, was in the driveway. I parked and sat, gathering courage. Text from Jacob, where are you? Me outside. Coming in. I used my key to enter. Jacob was making coffee in the expensive machine I'd bought him. Hey, want coffee? No. We need to talk. About last night. You kicked me out so you could sleep with your mistress. She's not my mistress. I just asked for space. You demanded I leave in 20 minutes. I was emotional. I don't care. You've been cheating, spending money we don't have, and trying to open credit cards in my name. His face went pale. What? I showed him the credit report. 3 weeks ago. Capital One application. My name, my social security number. That wasn't, I can explain. Explain fraud. It's not fraud if we're married. Your credit is better, I thought. Thought you'd rack up more debt for me to pay? He slammed his cup down. I'm tired of this. Tired of you throwing money in my face. Tired of being with someone who values dollars over our relationship. Our relationship? You're sleeping with someone else. Because you're never here. Because I'm lonely. I work to pay our bills because you don't. We were shouting, but I noticed Jacob positioning himself between me and the door, body language aggressive, trying to intimidate me. I took a breath and spoke calmly. Jacob, I want a divorce. He blinked. What? I want a divorce. This marriage is over. He laughed. You can't kick me out. This is my home too. And that car, that's mine. You can leave, but I'm staying here with my car. This was the moment. I reached into my bag and pulled out 2 documents, placing them on the counter. What's that? The first is the lease. Notice anything? He picked it up. Your name. So what? Look at the date. 2-year lease. No, when it expires. He checked. His face went pale. 2 days ago, Jacob. The lease expired 2 days ago, and I chose not to renew. As of tomorrow, neither of us legally lives here. You can't. I can. Only my name is on the lease. I've already told the landlord I'm moving out. Where am I supposed to go? Maybe Amanda has room. I picked up the second document. This is the title to your car. Read, whose name is on it. He grabbed it and stared, confusion turning to horror. This can't be right. It's my car. I paid off your original loan. Title transferred to me. When you traded cars, you needed good credit. I didn't co-sign Jacob. I signed as primary owner. I own it outright. I've been making payments. To me. The payment booklet? I made it. The account? Mine. I set it up like a loan. Guess how many payments you've made? He didn't answer. 3. 3 payments in 18 months. You owe me $12,000. This is insane. Keys, Jacob, or I call police for unauthorized vehicle use. You wouldn't. I dialed 911. Got to the second one before he threw the keys at me. They hit my chest. I picked them up. You're a bitch. I'm a woman who finally realized she's been funding a man-child while getting nothing but betrayal. I headed for the door. You have until noon tomorrow to get your things. Whatever's left goes to the curb. Sarah, wait, what about us? 5 years. 5 years where I paid for everything while you lied. There's no us anymore. I loved you. No, you loved what I could give you. There's a difference. I walked out, got in his car, my car, and drove straight to a mechanic. Check this car, then detail it. I'm selling it. By 3 p.m., I'd sold the car to a luxury dealer for $28,000. Not full value, but I needed cash fast. That evening, frantic texts from Jacob. Where's my car? This is theft. I'm calling police. Amanda says, I can sue you. I texted back. The car was legally mine. I sold it. See you tomorrow at noon. He called 17 times. I turned off my phone. Next morning I met Christine. She had divorce papers ready. These establish you paid for everything. Once he signs, he acknowledges it. If he doesn't, we file and let a judge decide. What about alimony? 5-year marriage barely qualifies. You have evidence he was employed but spent money on affairs instead of bills. No judge is giving him alimony. At 11:45 a.m., I drove to the house in a rental. Amanda's Mercedes was there. I let myself in. Jacob and Amanda were surrounded by boxes. Jacob looked rough, unshaven, red-eyed, same clothes. Amanda looked angry. About time, she snapped. This is all your fault. I ignored her. Jacob, you have until noon. Personal items only. Everything else stays because I paid for it. Half this stuff is his. Amanda protested. I have receipts for everything. We'll sue you. I have 2 years of bank statements showing I paid for everything. What do you have? She went silent. I pulled out divorce papers. Jacob, sign these. I'm not signing anything. Then we go to court. Your choice. Amanda touched his shoulder. Baby, don't sign. My lawyer said. Your lawyer? Why do you have a lawyer? I pulled out my phone, opened Facebook, searched Amanda's profile. Found it. Jacob, did you know Amanda's married? His face went blank. What? Married with kids. Last post 3 days ago. Date night with the best husband ever. I showed him. Amanda grabbed my phone. Face red. That's old, I haven't updated. It's from 3 days ago. Jacob stood slowly. Amanda, are you married? Let me explain. Yes or no? She looked between us. Yes, but Richard and I aren't happy. You told me you were divorced. I said separated. You said divorced. You said you loved me. I do, but you're married? With kids? You lied this whole time. He turned to me. Sarah, I didn't know. I swear. It doesn't matter. You still cheated. Still kicked me out. Still used me for years. Amanda grabbed her purse. I'm not staying for this. Call me when you calm down. Don't call me ever, Jacob said. Get out. Amanda left fast. Jacob sank onto the couch, head in hands. After silence, he looked up. Was any of it real? In the beginning, maybe. Who am I? Someone who takes and gives nothing back. Someone who makes promises he never keeps. I set the papers on the table. Sign these. Let's both move on. Where am I supposed to go? You have a job. You're 35. Figure it out. Please, I can change. Give me another chance. You had 5 years of chances. You had $50,000 worth of chances. I stood. Sign the papers. Can I keep some furniture? Take your clothes and personal items. That's it. That's unfair. You know what's unfair? Paying $35,000 of someone's debt and never seeing it back. Being kicked out of your own home. That's unfair. This is consequences. He signed with shaking hands. I took the papers, folded them carefully. You have until 5 p.m. Anything left goes to the curb. Sarah. Goodbye, Jacob. I walked out, didn't look back, drove to Christine's office and filed. She said we'd be divorced in 90 days. That night, I checked my accounts. The $28,000 from selling the car was there. My savings, what remained. My next paycheck would be mine, all mine. I cried again, but this time it was relief. Relief it was over. Relief I'd stood up for myself. Over the next weeks, I found a nice apartment, all mine. Bought new furniture. Reconnected with friends I'd lost touch with. Through mutual friends, I heard Jacob's life collapsed. Moved in with a work buddy, sleeping on a couch. Amanda's husband found out, filed for divorce. But Amanda blamed Jacob and cut him off. His sales job let him go after his numbers dropped. Last week I got an email from Jacob. Long, rambling, asking for a loan to get back on his feet. Promising to pay me back this time for real. I deleted it without responding. Some people never learn. Jacob is one of them, and he's not my problem anymore. I'm dating again. Meeting people with careers, apartments, lives. People who split checks and would never ask me to pay their debts. I'm saving money again. Planning a future that's mine. Every time I think about that night he kicked me out, I smile. That was the night I stopped being used. The night I took back my power, money, and life. Jacob thought he was throwing me away. But I was throwing him away. All the dead weight, lies, broken promises. The car I sold bought freedom. The house I left gave me a fresh start. The marriage I ended opened the door to a better future. And the look on Jacob's face when he realized I owned everything? That was worth every penny I lost and every tear I cried. If this resonated with you, if you've ever supported someone who gave nothing back, hit that like button. Comment your story because knowing you're not alone makes a difference. Subscribe for more stories about choosing yourself. Remember, your bank account isn't a measure of love, and anyone who makes you feel like it is doesn't deserve you. Thanks for watching.